1. So this is part 3 of part 2
of part 1.
Yeah, you guys like how I said that? So in the first vlog we were talking about Paul's Crohn's and how it went downhill real quick. Appendicitis, doctor really not taking good care of Paul's Crohn's and kind of putting him in this situation. Part 2 was all about seeing the colorectal surgeon, being scared straight, realizing where Paul's Crohn's is truly at. And today's vlog,
Part 3,
is all about what pretty much has happened the last 2 weeks. And we are going to update you guys on that.
We're more to like the more active, more recent.
Yes, very recent. And tomorrow Paul's his surgery scheduled, so how scary.
As we have mentioned, I have surgery scheduled for tomorrow, and we're going to work our way up to that. So we're going to backtrack about a month, 2 weeks to a month now, and get you back up to speed. About a month ago, this kind of coincided with one of my aunts that passed away.
Yes.
And, you know, it was kind of a sudden
passing.
You know, it was very unexpected. You know, it's part of life, you know, not a big deal, but you know, that kind of hit everybody at the same time. And with my Crohn's, that's where I kind of show stress, is profusely using the bathroom and pain and stuff like that. So that kind of, I wouldn't say triggered it, but it made it worse per se. Yeah. About a month ago, I started noticing I have a lot more tenderness in my stomach. For those of you who don't know, your stomach is actually up here. It ain't all the way down here, okay? So I started feeling a little bit more tenderness, kind of bloated feeling in my stomach, and I was like, this is kind of odd because I usually don't have stomach pain. My Crohn's is down below in my colon. You know, it was very unusual for me, you know.
Look at part 2 of the vlog and you guys will understand.
I just got to a point where I was in a lot of pain, having multiple bowel movements a day. Like, I stopped counting at 7, just to give you an idea. And there were days like 10 to 12, and just anything and everything I had. If I had a broth, like a normal beef broth made at home, didn't settle well. My stomach was just not having it at all. So much so that, you know, one day I was in so much pain because every time I'd have a bowel movement in my rectum, I had the most horrific pain and burning sensation possible. To the point where I would be crying on the bathroom floor. Like, it was bad, like very bad. I obviously called my doctor's office.
And of course, this is the GI that doesn't take Paul's health seriously. So the office staff literally told him, "Oh, we'll see you in like 3 months." What? No.
That was my next appointment with that doctor. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
We were like, his quality of life is diminishing. He has a blockage. Like, how you guys are taking this so lightly? 3 months, we're sorry. We could talk to the doctor and see if he could squeeze you in.
Doctor said no.
Which we were like, you know what?
Time to jump ship.
We actually found one of Paul's old GI doctors that did transfer from one hospital to another, and they finally set up their office. This whole entire time, they had no office. We couldn't find them. So once we found out where they were, we immediately made an appointment. The staff remembered Paul. Like, majority of the staff switched over.
All the staff, like the nurse practitioners, the physician assistants, even the medical assistants, like just regular like staffing, all left. So that should give you an idea of why.
And they squeezed him in within a week.
I was like,
how amazing.
The doctor sent me medication. First and foremost, he didn't see me. With my symptoms and everything, he instantly sent a couple of prescriptions to the pharmacy. And it's like, I want to see you. My next day, because, you know, they have like days where they don't see patients, they just do procedures. They squeezed me in the very next day, which was like 4 days out. And I was like, that's perfectly fine, because then, he sent me medication, and I started feeling better from the time he sent me medication to when I saw him. So what ended up happening was he got a little bit concerned of everything that was going on, because my symptoms were kind of extreme.
Yeah.
You know, they were very, you know, like very
cause for concern.
Very cause for concern, exactly. So he had me do some blood work, check the levels of the Entyvio the biologic I'm currently taking, to see if the levels is too low. Like, hey, we need to do it a higher dose or more often.
Yeah.
And he got all of that done, sent me to do a stool sample, blood work, like regular blood work, all this stuff. And then one thing, he did a emergency MRI of the rectum and lower colon to see what is going on.
He was pushing for things, unlike the other GI who was like, you're fine, it's not a big deal. Yeah, like.
So this doctor was like, we're gonna order it. He ordered it stat.
Yes.
So it was emergency. Like then I'm getting in the next 2 days. They're gonna make room for me.
Guys,
not the next available. It's they'll make room.
Right now it is Sunday. This all happened like the beginning of Monday. Like that's how fast everything was going. They were like, go, 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 which I love.
So the day that I saw the doctor, they actually called me and said, "Hey, we have a spot to squeeze you in today to do the MRI. Do you want to come in?" I was like, "Yeah."
Like, okay, yeah, that sounds like an
fine with
idea.
me. Like, I have to do this. Let's do it. And then they said, "No, I'm sorry. There's a certain prep you have to do to be able to do the big thing. So we can do it tomorrow." I was like, "That's fine too. That's perfectly fine."
We're thinking it's gonna be like a week or two.
No, it's the same day or the next day, because that's what happens when the doctor ordered it stat. Funny thing, I almost had to be bumped for like an hour.
Yeah.
Because they said, "Hey, someone's being flown in. It's a stroke patient. We have 3 MRIs. 2 of them are currently in use. We may need this 3rd one for the stroke patient." And I was like, "Okay, that's perfectly fine. I understand 100%. If I have to go wait in the lobby, walk around, go get some lunch for an hour, I can do that." And then out of nowhere, the 2nd room opened up. Like, "Hey, we have the 2 rooms. You're good. Let's go do it on time." All right, perfect, cool.
While Paul was doing this MRI, I am scheduling his appointments that are up and coming that he needs, trying to get things going. Like, we are working as a team.
The day after I got my MRI done, I got my Prometheus blood test done. That's to check the level of the Entivio in my body. From there, we went and I recently had to go to the hospital because the pain was so bad that I couldn't take it anymore. So that's what prompted me to go to the hospital Saturday. Monday is when I called my doctor. I saw them and they sent me to do the MRI Tuesday. Wednesday, they had the results.
Yeah, the doctor called Paul and was just like, "Don't even bother coming in. We ain't got time for you to come in.
Yes.
We're going to go over this results and we're going to get you to a surgeon."
Yes, because what ended up happening was that I have a anal fistula.
Yes.
So what a fistula is basically, instead of, the stool going through your rectum like it's supposed to, a little canal branches off somewhere, and they can either branch off and come back into the rectum, or it branches off and just goes into your glutes and creates an abscess. And that's an infection, and that's very, very painful, and that's actually what I have. I don't have an abscess, but I have a fistula going into the glute, and it's just a tunnel, and it's getting stuck with stool and all sorts of stuff, causing a severe infection, because there's not supposed to be anything there. MRI found one definitive one going one way, and a smaller one going in another direction. I definitively have one, possibly have another. The MRI is not a perfect image of everything, obviously. It gives them a very good idea, and that's what my GI doctor called and told me. So he told me, "Hey, I'm going to refer you to go see a colorectal surgeon."
When he said referred, he was texting him about
Paul. He's like, "Here,
he
hold on 1 second. And he's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I already texted him. They'll call you."
He's like, "You're getting in within the next 24 hours." I was like, "What?"
So the phone number to his office, and the doctor has, one in the hospital, and then he has his private practice somewhere else. I called the one in the hospital, and they said I would not be able to see the surgeon until the end of March, and the appointment wouldn't even be with the surgeon. It would be with the nurse practitioner. But I was like, we're coming referred as a stat order, can you please confirm that so you guys can get us in earlier? And they're like, "That's the earliest we can get you in." And I was just like, "You gotta be damn kidding me." And I would call the private practice, and the private practice wouldn't even answer the phone. So I was just like, this is a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, "You gotta be damn kidding me." Like, fine, we'll go back to the guy, okay? Like, whatever. Later that afternoon, I get a phone call from the private practice, and they're like, "Hey, I can see you today at 4 p.m.
Really?
The doctor told me personally to call you to tell you to come in, and you are coming in.
Simple as that.
Great.
So this week has been all about us just randomly dropping stuff and racing to these appointments because they give us like an hour notice.
Yeah, and it's fine. I'll make it work. I went to go see the surgeon. Super, super nice. Absolutely loved him. His bedside manner. He inspires confidence with how he talks.
He was amazing. I mean, super sweet. I mean, great bedside manner.
Yeah, no, like genuinely, he was like, the other doctor, I'm sure he's an amazing surgeon, for sure. He sounds like he comes very, highly recommended, but so does this one. And
we just didn't
this one inspires confidence.
The other surgeon, once again, like we said in the previous vlog, said that he looked over Paul's records, did not look over Paul's records. You know, those are a couple red flags, and we felt like he was truly jumping the gun from 0 to 100 and was like, let's just rip out everything.
Yeah, a little bit much. And this was many months ago before this anal fistula problem presented itself. So what ends up happening is this. We see this doctor in the office. He tries to give me a small exam, but he's like, I'm not trying to go too much because I know you're in pain. So, you know, I got dressed up. He comes back in. He's like, I'm going to have to see everything under anesthesia.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is he's like, I saw the MRI. I see the report. He's like, I don't see the fistula for myself because everything is very tender, very swollen, very painful, you know, but I am bleeding, and it's just not a fun time, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, what we're going to do is this. This is a Thursday, mind you. He's like, I'm going to try to get you on the schedule for surgery tomorrow. And I was just like, cool.
I was like,
I need to mentally prepare.
but
I was like, cool, bro, yeah, let's do it.
guys, once again, it's Sunday. That was Thursday.
This happened very quickly.
They were ready Friday, like, we're ready to get you in.
Yes.
Thankfully, yes, I say thankfully, they said they couldn't squeeze him in Friday, but they could squeeze him in Monday.
Yes.
The reason why I say that, you know,
Give
you
you a
always
little bit of
need to mentally prepare, and for something like this, you know, it's good to have some time for everybody to process what's going on.
The surgery, basically, what it will be is a little bit of exploratory. So he's going to go in under anesthesia so that I don't feel any pain, obviously, and see physically what is going on. Once he sees what's going on, he can make the determination of what is the next step. What ends up happening is they schedule me in for Monday, and again, it's kind of a shock to go into an appointment and tomorrow, surgery. Let's do this. You know, if it's needed, it's fine, I'll do it. But, you know, it's always good to have like a little bit of a mental preparation, because with the appendix surgery, same thing. Hey, 6 hours, you're going in surgery. Like, you know, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. They couldn't get me in. They got me in Monday. And the thing about this whole situation is that he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen. So he thinks if the fistula does come back out, the other smaller one, he can place what's called a seton. So basically it's like a little rubber band. It goes through the fistula itself, and he ties it, and he's like, it's kind of counterintuitive because you're still not sealing it, but it's going to be able to drain. And if it drains with antibiotics and everything, I should feel much better, and I would still have a small little rubber band in my rectum, not a big deal. And I was like, will you feel it? Is it painful? He said, no, you will definitely feel it, but it will not be painful. He's like, most people who have the pain that you're having after the surgery, they actually feel better because everything is starting to come out, and it's like cleaning a wound. You get all that gunk out and you put something on there, you feel better almost instantaneously. That's the plan, but we don't know yet what is in store for me per se. So what's going to happen is he's going to go in, check everything. If it just goes straight into the gluteal region, that's a whole different ballgame. There's a different plan set for that. I don't have any abscess buildup, thankfully, but if this problem continues, that may happen, and that's a different surgery because they have to go in, cut, drain. That's worse. And then he's going to give me a mini colonoscopy. Now, like, I don't have to full-on prep, but he can go up to the sigmoid colon and see a little bit of what's going on, kind of give me a sit rep of how my Crohn's is doing, per se. Because before, my rectum has never had any issues. It's always been spared. I've never had any inflammation, and now the CT scans and everything do show mild to medium inflammation, which is not good.
Me and Sushi are back.
So overall, it's a roller coaster of what I have to go through, unfortunately. And when we were in the doctor's office with him, he did tell me, like, hey, with all your signs and symptoms and everything, and, you know, all the medications you're on and all the things you're going through, he's like, don't ever think it's out of the realm of possibility of you needing a bag. And he's like, the thing is, it has a very big negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to have that for the rest of your life. Obviously not. But he says a lot of his patients, and the other colorectal surgeons have the same exact thing. He's like, most patients, like 99% of them, when they get it, if my Crohn's, like me, is in my colon's gone, my life somewhat kind of goes back to normal. I don't have to be on these specialty medications making me immunocompromised. I can eat, not 100% normal per se, but I can eat pretty much normal. Like it's okay for me to have these types of foods again. You know what I mean?
It's okay for him to have a piece of bread and not feel like he's in agony.
Pretty much. Or,
Yeah.
you know, like, I'm not going to go crazy and have McDonald's and Burger King every single day, but, you know, eat healthy at home. And, hey, if I want to go out with my family and we want to go out and have a plate of pasta and at a restaurant, I can do it. I can have a Caesar salad. It's okay.
Because right now, he can't even do that.
No, I'm very limited to what I can eat. Like, my diet consists of food that is
Salmon.
salmon,
Soup.
salmon and soup, because salmon breaks down very, very easily, and just food that is very soft. So I'm very limited on what I can eat. I've basically been having the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yep, same exact thing every single day, every single day, and it sucks because Janice and I enjoyed food a lot.
Yes,
that was our
we did.
thing. We like going out and having a little pig biting here and there, and it's just it has definitely hit me mentally 100%.
Yeah.
I used to weigh. I was a little bit on the unhealthy side. I was around 230. Now I'm at 190. I have lost quite a significant amount of weight in just a few short months, and you know it is affecting my health because I don't have energy. Like I'm usually more chipper, bright, happy, fun, making jokes. I'm falling asleep. I feel
Fatigue,
horrifically
weak, all that.
fatigued and weak, and I just can't take it anymore. So the doctor, you know, told me, he's like, a lot of people just do the surgery because guess what? You will have a massively huge
Better quality of life.
quality of life. And he's like, the bag is not that big of a deal. You have a wife, you have a child. He's like, these are complications that most people, if you have 16, 17 years old trying to find somebody in life with a bag, yeah, that's going to be
He
kinda
said it.
hard.
He's like, you're lucky. He's like,
"You're-
you
you're
are
lucky."
lucky.
He did say, he's like, the difficulties that most people would face, you don't have because I already have my significant other and my child.
I can't leave him, sadly.
Pretty much. He just said there may be some cons you think of it, but he's like, there is a lot of pros. And that's still in the back of my mind, and I'll be honest with you, as each day goes on, still being in pain, not being able to eat, and having to be, oh my god, I can't have zucchini, I have to peel everything, I have to overcook it ridiculously, I can't have food like normally cooked. I'm
Can't
Italian.
be seasoned.
Like, it can't be seasoned. I'm Italian. I like pasta al dente. I like it a little bit on the harder side. That's how I grew up. I can't have it like that. I have to have it basically like a mashed potatoes for my stomach to be able to not cause a gastrointestinal blockage. And I can't live like this for the rest of my life.
You okay? It's hard. I'm sorry. I know. Here. Sometimes doing these vlogs, it gets emotional. Retelling our situations, it's hard. And you know, tomorrow we're going in with a positive mindset. We're excited that Paul's gonna feel better, at least in his...
Nether regions down there.
The surgeon would like Paul to consider possibly getting a permanent bag in the future because he doesn't even qualify, in a sense. His body doesn't even qualify for a temporary. So they just want to go straight to a permanent. We're still seeing what other options are out there. I am being optimistic. I already talked to his GI. What about putting him on like 2 other biologics? What about trying to see to do a temporary that can go from like 6 weeks to 6 months? Hopefully things could heal. The other option Paul's mom did bring to us was possibly stem cell treatments. Everything's still up in the air. We're still deciding what we can do. And it's been a bumpy ride. But guys, we're going to keep you updated. We will be vlogging tomorrow's surgery so you guys can see what it entails. Because me and Paul, we understand what it entails, but it's different when you're actually experiencing it right there and then. So guys, I need to be an amazing caretaker. I need to focus on Paul, you know, be there for him emotionally. And this is where we're going to end it. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Let's support and help one another out during these rough times. And plus, we like to show and spread awareness so other people know they're not in this by themselves. So guys, for now, adieu and goodbye.